So it's been awful, right? There's been a lot of messed up things happening in the world. There were floods that happened in Texas, and children died. It's awful. It's awful. I can't. There are some things where you're like, for your own mental health, you gotta just like kind of disassociate a little bit, because I can't imagine being a parent and losing your young child. Couldn't do it. I wouldn't exist anymore. I just couldn't do it, and it's awful. And people are trying to make it political, and I think anything that's loss of life, it's like, why are we doing this? Especially when there are kids involved. Like, why are we doing this? There's ways where I think it's appropriate to like show anger, but it has to be an appropriate way, right? Like, I'm more for, actual debates where there's like, you're actually sharing stuff, but if it gets to a point where there's like a sassy comeback, okay, all right, but not straight up like you got him or anything like that. Just something where it's like, okay, that makes sense for the point that you're trying to prove, right? But to make things political about the loss of life of children is just insane. So her name is Sade Perkins. Sade, or I don't know if it's Sade Perkins. Because I've known people who have the same spelling, but it's pronounced differently. But Sade Perkins, and she's in politics. And apparently not anymore, because she's not going to be working anymore. But there's little girls who they were swept away. Their parents are finding out in real time what happened to their daughters, to their young little girls, and you're like doing this. It's too much. It's too much. And then saying that this is a white Christian conservative camp and that's why you got killed. What? No. It's just, it's stupid, and it's gross, and it sucks, and it's messed up, right? And the thing is, so I've seen some comments calling her like evil and heartless, and a lot of negative comments, right? Because people are upset, and it's valid. My thing is, I think I've learned through the years, because I've heard from people on both sides of the political spectrum become hateful like that. And my thing is, like, I wonder if you would say that to somebody in person. You know what I mean? Would you say that to a grieving mother that's trying to find her child? If you're there in person, if you're seeing her sob, you're gonna say that? I think the majority of people are not. Because they even did a study about this. I think they did it in the 1930s, and it had to do with racism against Asian people. And they conducted a study where they went to a whole bunch of shop owners in the South. I'm pretty sure that the study was from that long ago. And they went up to them, and almost all of them were like, I'm not letting any Asian person in this shop, I'm gonna tell them, blah, 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 blah. Just stuck out their chest and like all the racial stuff, and they're like, okay, cool, marked it down. And then they got an Asian couple to go into the stores, and only one store truly refused them service. Everybody else was on their P's and Q's. And will that be all, sir? Will that be all, ma'am? What do you need? So very few people actually follow through on their hatred or their vitriol. It's always been like that. Humans are, we talk a lot of crap. We talk a lot of smack, right? It's easy to become frustrated and angry towards a group of people. That's very easy to do that. Hey, people do it all the time for sports. People have done it for lesser things. People have done it in like traffic. Like it's a human characteristic, right? And you just have to make sure that you're on top of it, so it's mild frustration or aggravation, and it doesn't become like full-on hatred. You know, it's not blown out of proportion, right? But most people talk a lot of crap, and if there's any place where people talk the most crap, it's the internet. If there's any place where people are sticking out their chest and doing all this false bravado, it's the internet, right? So that's one thing. So I wouldn't call her evil or anything like that. I wouldn't waste my time. I'm just like, that's unfortunate for you. You got some stuff to work through. Hopefully you work through that stuff, you know? Because it's like you can't, I don't, like you can't even really do comedy or parody anymore, really, because, you know, Sade Perkins is a black woman saying this about white people, and her boyfriend is white. You can't even make this up. You can't even make this up. And then, like, he's a reverend at a, I can't say, it's like universal, like it kind of, it's like uni something, but like the ones that are like very peaceful and like loving, and like he had to come out and be like, hey, yeah, she doesn't speak for me. And like, why are you putting your boyfriend in that position? If he's a reverend and he really truly believes this to his core, that people are equal, that everyone deserves love, how dare you do that to him? Having a political career, how dare you do that? What are you doing? And now it's just this whole embarrassment, and now you've left this like nasty taste in people's mouths. Why you gotta do that for? You know? And I've noticed a lot of places on the internet, man, they're becoming more and more hateful. And it's unfortunately not a surprise. Because I see that, and then the other thing I'm seeing is the AI. AI is coming. Microsoft, you know, just got rid of 9,000 people, 7,000 people. You see corny Mark Zuckerberg with his new frat boy style. That was a look in your 20s. That's not the look to do now. It's not. I don't know if he's in his 30s or 40s, but that's not the look to do now. And he's talking about sinking billions and billions of dollars into Meta, and it's just you. The other thing that I saw is Amazon for Prime Day. I didn't buy anything from Amazon. I don't shop there anymore. My family does, like my sister and stuff. I don't judge, but I said this is the decision I've made. I'm not buying anything else from them. Canceled Prime. I'm just done with them. You know, I keep canceling services because they're underwhelming. They very pricey, and I'm just very disgusted by the world that they've created, right? But Amazon for Prime Day, which is started yesterday until the 11th. First of all, that's not a day, that's a couple days, but okay. They've asked volunteers from corporate to go to warehouses to volunteer and work for free. So to volunteer in the warehouse, but they still have to be on call for meetings and whatever it is. I hope everyone said no. Every single service now has a subcharge and another charge and another charge. And they're replacing humans, but then we're supposed to, if you do something else, you're not supposed to make more money. No, if this service costs an extra $1, then hey, my service costs an extra $20 or $30 or whatever it is, salary, whatever you need to do to advocate for yourself. If the trend is already that they're gonna replace the human workforce with AIs, you have nothing to lose. F them, screw them, you know? And this does tie in with the racism and the tragedy that happened in Texas, because this is the real issue, right? Resources are going to become scarce. Where are people going to make money from? How are people going to be able to afford rent? How are people going to find food? I've said it so many times, Bill Gates keeps up buying farmland. They don't want us to have any control or any real freedoms. They view us like rats, like cattle, and that's what we are. And the racism is a distraction. It is a way to divide and conquer. it keeps everyone separated. So you have Sade Perkins, who said that the little girls that were killed were because of MAGA, because of Trump, because of the Conservative Party. And now you have people in the Conservative Party and the MAGA Party that are like, okay, well, now I'm going to become more of a dedicated supporter. When there was just news that they're not going to release the Epstein list, right? We've heard they've been jerking that around for a long time. We got the list. There's so much stuff. We just need time. There is no list. And people were starting to become disillusioned with the MAGA party. You had Alex Jones, who got very emotional because everybody has viewed Donald Trump as the great white hope. Where people don't understand where I fall politically is I don't believe we've had a real president since JFK, if that, you know. I think that JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., MLKJ, Robert Kennedy, I think they were all killed by either the CIA or FBI. I don't trust them. They're too big for the britches. And I think that they've controlled, I don't think we've had a real president. I think we have Manchurian presidents. I think that the FBI, the CIA has a lot of power. Nothing I'm saying is very new or revolutionary. I'm a big fan of Tim Dillon. I think his political takedowns are amazing. Go give him a listen. A lot of this stuff, it's not a conspiracy theory. A lot of this stuff is out in the open. Things look fishy. I just think that they have so much power. These guys have hired assassins. Like, politics to me is no different than the mafia or organized crime. It's just organized crime with a suit and tie. That's all it is, you know? So everyone, I think the people that did put their faith in Trump, it's because they thought he was going to be a shaker and a mover. They were like, you know, he says whatever he wants. He does whatever he wants. At the end of the day, do you know how easy it would be for them to get rid of him? Even him as a billionaire, as a guy who was, you know, like famous and a reality star, it would be so easy. It would be so easy for them to get rid of. It's not, these people got trained killers. Like, him being shot in front of people, I don't know if that was a setup. I don't know if that was them telling him, if that was a warning from the FBI, CIA. That whole thing was fishy, and they barely tried. The fact that everyone told the FBI about that kid and nothing was done. How they tried to say that the roof was sloped, and then you go look at the roof and you're like, that is not sloped at all. The fact that the kid had no digital footprint. It was just so weird. It was so weird. And that's the thing, is that they think so little of the American public that they're not even trying to hide it anymore, because they're like, what's the point, right? And it makes sense. If you probably in the 50s, you know, because it's also the culture too. In the 50s, I'm sure you had FBI agents and CIA agents, suit and tie all the time. There was a certain amount of decorum, and you know, they probably really focused on hoodwinking the American public. Now it's like, we know the cat's out of the bag for a lot of people, but it doesn't matter. You know, people are still going to argue about the political candidates. And so I didn't vote for either Trump or Kamala. I'm like, it does not matter. It doesn't matter who you vote in for the president. There's a whole system, a whole network behind them, and it's gotten so big, it would take millions of people to dismantle it. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be too hard to put that on the president. Nah, I don't buy it. I don't buy that the president has all the power. There's people behind the scenes that we don't even know about, you know? So the Epstein list not being released could have helped people in the MAGA camp see that, like, okay, Trump can't do the things that we thought he could. So then this isn't a him thing. This is the political machine thing is just too big. It's just too big. And maybe they're is less separation between the right and the left, in the sense of, we have common enemies, and it's not the different colors or religions or gender or whatever it is. It's the powerful. It's it's the people, it's the billionaires, it's the powerful, it's the people who are dictating what our lives are going to be, and we don't have any say. It's those people. And when you do things where you become racist and you're being immoral and unethical, you push, not only do you make yourself look bad, not only are you adding anger and sadness and hatred to your soul, not only are you like staining your soul, you're taking people who would be in the middle and you're pushing them more to the other side. And then people who are on that side, who are maybe starting to doubt what's going on, you're also pushing them further to that side. Because now it's like, okay, well then, of course I should be a MAGA. If this is what people are saying over little girls being killed in a natural disaster, then yeah, and I still have to be concerned with race and with religion and values, because if the left has none, then it's just going to push me more. And this is where I start to feel like, where I've kind of adapted the attitude of like, I guess it's not going to change. I guess a little defeatist, because of the knowledge I have about psychology and human nature. It is so easy to get got. The human mind is so malleable. Humans have so many errors in their critical thinking skills. Humans lack logical thinking. The internet helps in dumbing down society. There's so many problems, and it just feels like we're not going to be united. And it's really sad. It's really sad because, and it's so sad because we always default to that, right? It's like, oh, well, the people that are part of my group, we gotta be united, right? Like Jews gotta be with Jews, and blacks gotta be with blacks, and different Spanish people gotta be with each other. And that's not true. People are so disconnected from each other. People are concerned with themselves. And it's very sad that we don't connect with each other on morals, values, and ethics, because politics makes you think that you don't. But the reality is they've done so many polls, so many studies, and the majority of people fall somewhere in the middle. And the people on the far left and far right, they're the closest to each other. I was gonna try to show my little, and I didn't realize. I'm like, well, I'm using my other hand. You see, I need food. I'm sorry, you guys. But it's like, oh yeah, I guess I could do that. They're the closest to each other, but they are, and it's just a bummer. It's a real bummer, and it's really stupid. And so Sade Perkins, she gotta sit with herself, and she's not the only one. I think she's more notable because of her position in politics and because she's got the white boyfriend, and it just kind of writes itself. But there's been a few people talking like that, and you're seeing hatred from all these sides, and it is kind of crazy because like you're seeing things about the Carnival cruise, and like you're seeing people talking about tragedies, and then in the background is just like AI keeps coming, and we keep cutting jobs, and we're gonna keep overbuilding, and you keep seeing those stories. But because everybody is so concerned with that just keeps happening in the background, and it's a bummer. It is. And like my way to not get depressed is like I can only control what I can control, and myself, and I could talk to the people that I love, and I can choose to be better, and that's about all I can do. But it can be very disheartening. It's incredibly disheartening because you're like, it's gonna be so easy for them. It's gonna be so easy for them to take away the lives that we've had and what we've known. It's gonna be so easy because we've made it that easy for them. So if anybody who does watch my videos, because it does sometimes, it feels weird for me because sometimes it's like, you're like, you're just speaking into the void. But for anyone that does get through these long videos, take care of yourself, choose to be a better person, and rally people, not against politics, but against the powers that be. The differences in race, religion, gender orientation, they're so trivial. They're so trivial. I'm sorry, but they are. I'm a woman. I'm white and I'm Colombian, right? I'm Italian, Dutch, and Colombian. I was raised Catholic, but I don't really know what my religion is. I've kind of accepted I'm not smart enough to know, and I like not knowing. I like that there's a mystery, I'm straight. What's another identity thing? And I've struggled with depression, anxiety. I've struggled with a mental illness. None of those things really tell you who I am as a person. None of those things tell you what my heart is, or where my trials and tribulations have been, where I excel at, where my failures have been. None of those things tell you how I feel about my loved ones, how deeply I feel love, how deeply I can feel annoyance and anger. None of those things tell you about my regrets or the mistakes I've made in my life. None of those things really tell you about my triumphs or the areas where I've succeeded. It's boring to me, I don't know. It's cool. Like, I like having my different heritages, but for me, it's more so a connection with my past. Like, my grandma passed away, and I want to learn how to cook Colombian food because I want to keep the connection that I have with her, and I want to be able to pass it down, and I want to just cook for my family, right? It's on the list. I haven't gotten around to it, but it's on the list, But that it means anything about me in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. I don't think that it tells you a lot about who I am or what I'm about. And it's just a bummer. It's just a bummer that we're missing the mark on the things that we should be united about. We're missing the mark about the things that we should be angry about. We're missing the mark about where we should be happy and joyful. It just sucks. It's really, really sad. It does. It is a bummer. And, I wish and I hope that things do change. I guess hope springs eternal, right? Internal optimist. But then other times I'm like, you know what? F this, F you. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to go get tan on the beach and I'm going to bask in the breeze. Because it's too much to be that hateful or anything like that. It's a bummer, And I think, and it is funny because my channel's called Tiny and Angry, but sometimes you get kind of beaten down because if you just see crappy thing and crappy thing and crappy thing, you're like, I'm tired. It's not normal or healthy for a human being to be this I guess lambasted or just shown like sad thing after sad thing after sad thing. Look at how people aren't connecting. It's just a bummer, It's a bummer. So there are things that I do get angry about, but I hope that at the end of the day everyone knows, like, I get angry because I'm like, there's a better way to live where you're just chill and you're just vibing. Like, you're just being cool. Like, there are times when you're supposed to be angry. There are. Anger is a good and healthy emotion. It exists so people know where the line between me and you or other places exist, right? Being angry about little kids dying in a flood is not it. It's not it. Being angry at your government because they are lying to you about a list of people who have abused children, yeah, that's where the anger should be. That's where it should be. being angry about people not liking certain things, like certain movies, when the movie is not even that good. Sinners. I mean, if you want, you know, that's your choice. But I don't know, man. If y'all made it through this video, God bless you. God bless you, because I know I'm a rambling man. I just ramble. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, how you guys cope with all of the negativeness, and where you think we as a society could do better. Or are we just all just coasting until we're like, is it time to head out? Is it time to hang up our coats and just walk on out of there? I don't know. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.